I'm Deborah Clubb. I am Executive Director of the Memphis Area Women's Council and a member of the Memphis Sexual Assault Kit Task Force, working to completely eliminate our backlog of rape kits and thoroughly prosecute all the offenders that we find in doing that. My own commitment to this work comes a lot from watching my grandmother survive a long, long marriage with my grandfather, who was not a nice person, who was emotionally and verbally abusive and demeaning of her, and he was misbehaved, I think, in other ways as well that I never witnessed. But I was very close to her. I spent a lot of time with her. She taught me a lot of things about sewing and handwork and crafts and things, and it was just incredibly creative. And watching her endure and stay in that relationship, because I think she was totally from a generation that wouldn't have thought of doing anything else. Watching her endure that had a tremendous impact on me, watching her become so silent. She would just sit for hours in family gatherings and just be silent. Well, they were married for, I don't even remember how many years. They ended up in a nursing home together. They were literally together from their late teens into their 90s. And his abusive approach to her extended into the nursing home. They had to be separated there. It's just the closest wrenching experience I had around that kind of relationship. It, for a long time, convinced me I would never get married. It was that powerful to me. I did not want to be trapped with a person like that. And I have to try to survive it. So I think a lot of what I've done is live for her in terms of wanting to help women have their voice and have equity and access to everything that we want in terms of opportunities. And when I came into the work with the Women's Council after 25 years at the newspaper, then this work that we've done around violence against women has been it's a really important opportunity to make sure that as much as can be done is done to help women get out of these relationships, free themselves and their children from that kind of suffering and fear and just loss of life. Really, it's life diminishing to live in a setting where you're never good enough, and you risk just this wrath that can show up at any time. And certainly some families have endured physical loss and death and you know, real horrible physical injury. I did not see that, but I still saw an unnecessary waste of talent. And I don't want to let that keep happening to people. This is a commitment I have in this work, is to bring women's voice back and make sure any woman who has something to say gets to say it, and that we give women who are in trouble in these bad relationships or who've been attacked in sexual assault, give them every assurance that their voices will be heard and they will be protected. As part of the work with the Women's Council, I'm part of the, and very glad to be part of the Memphis Sexual Assault Kit Task Force, which is organizing all this that we see in front of us today, the Memphis Says No More campaign and these pieces. And what is really important that this community has an opportunity to do right now, because of the conversation about the backlog of rape kits, because of the concern about how did this community end up with 12,000 plus stored rape kits, we have the opportunity to really change how we think about sexual assault and rape, how we go to trial, how we serve on juries, how we step in and help someone who may be about to get in a very bad situation, how we talk to men and encourage men to be allies in this work, Men are the ones who can break the silence on this and change the violence and change the behavior. Men telling rape jokes or even wife and mother-in-law jokes help make women nothing, meaningless nothings that anything can happen to and it's okay. And that all has to stop and change. And this is the time when this community can start to work on that. I sadly have heard a minister in the last year's time use a mother-in-law joke in a sermon. I'm dumbfounded by that in this era, that kind of demeaning talk about women is okay and is laughed at. So we have this opportunity to change how we think about each other, how we help each other, and we can equip each other to do the right thing and help protect anyone from this kind of sexual assault as well as domestic violence. We can, all of us, help. It's simple. It does not have to be life-threatening. There's smart ways to go about it, and that's what we're about trying to do now, is through the Women's Council and the work on the task force and many other good organizations in the city pulling together to make tools available and help people understand that we've got to change and we can do it.